If you're a sports fan, make sure you go check out SportsCastr with another video. And the New England Patriots have made another signing to the 53-man roster.
The perfect way
Interestingly enough, though, this time it is going to be quarterback Cody Kessler.
Want to check out my
now, this move comes about as the Pats already had an open roster spot because of placing James Devlin on the injured reserve. I made a whole video on that if you guys have not heard on that breaking news. And if I want to be 100% honest, I didn't see it coming at all at the fact that the New England Patriots signed a quarterback to fill in that 53-man roster. To me, I thought it very well could have been a wide receiver. For all we know, the Patriots could have just added more depth at the offensive line, but right now, they're riding again with 3 quarterbacks, which is a very interesting move as they got rid of Brian Hoyer, a veteran quarterback just like Cody Kessler, but more long-term and a guy who knows the system and has been in the system for a much longer time because they thought that Jarrett Stidham was the guy that they just needed. Okay, they were happy and they were confident with the backup quarterback position with Jarrett Stidham. Obviously, bringing back Brian Hoyer was not an option for the New England Patriots. Now, after releasing Brian Hoyer, multiple teams were interested in him. Even the New England Patriots, which is funny because they released him, yet they were still interested in him. But, of course, he went and signed a pretty large deal there with the Indianapolis Colts after Andrew Luck retired. So, obviously, they couldn't pick him up. Now, Cody Kessler has definitely made his rounds throughout the NFL. He's a former third-round draft pick here by the Cleveland Browns in 2016, so a fairly high draft pick, which kind of shows his ability and the talent that he was worth. It's not like we're just talking about an undrafted quarterback or a quarterback that was selected in the 6th or 7th round. He spent 2 seasons with the Cleveland Browns in which he appeared in 12 games. One of those was with the Pats. He finished with pretty respectable numbers. He finished with pretty reasonable numbers. Nothing too fancy, but he didn't finish with anything that goes, wow, this guy was a waste of a third rounder. Okay, he completed 139 of 218 passes. So he completed about 63.8% of the passes thrown. He finished with 1,506 yards, along with 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. As we all know, the Cleveland Browns were dealing with a lot of quarterback issues for a decent amount of time. Really, every quarterback that they had was just constantly getting injured. There was a point where they had like 5 quarterbacks on their roster. But despite how decent Cody Kessler was playing for them, the Cleveland Browns decided to trade him to the Jacksonville Jags in March of 2018, where he served as the backup to former Jags quarterback Blake Bortles, who of course is now the backup quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams after the Jacksonville Jags released him from forgetting Nick Foles this past offseason. Now, he became the starter pretty late there in Jacksonville. He officially took over that starting role in December. He did an all right job. It definitely was not as high standards as he did in Cleveland. And again, he wasn't anything super shocking in Cleveland. He wasn't anything that goes, wow, this is your franchise quarterback. But he did not perform as well here with the Jags as he did with the Cleveland Browns. Out of 101 passes, he completed 64 of his passes for a 63.4% completion percentage for 553 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Now, the big thing here, though, is that in the 4 games he was playing as the starting quarterback for the Jags, he was sacked 18 times. 18. And us Pats fans know that if your offensive line cannot hold up, then your quarterback is not going to be able to do anything, okay? Or any quarterback that is going to be able, more likely than not, to be able to extend the play with a bad offensive line is going to be a very mobile quarterback. Guys like a Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson. But guys who are not super athletic and are more of those pocket passer type of quarterbacks need pass protection and they need their offensive line to perform up to par. After those poor 4 games that he played, which to me really served because of this offensive line trouble that they had back at the time, Blake Bortles took over that starting role again. After that season, he was released by the Jags, in which the Philadelphia Eagles decided to pick him up. This really was not a surprise. The Philadelphia Eagles really like to have a backup quarterback who has experience in the NFL. They like to pick up these veterans. And with Nick Foles departing to the Jacksonville Jags, they obviously needed someone to fill that place. Sadly for him, though, the Eagles really did bring up a lot of quarterbacks throughout this offseason, and he was really unable to win over that starting role. He ended up only playing about 30 snaps in the entire 4 games of the preseason that the Eagles played, and he was released for the Philadelphia Eagles 53-man roster cuts. And because of that, he has been a free agent ever since the release. Now, this without a doubt is a very interesting move, and I think that there's multiple things that could come out of this. Now, one, the New England Patriots either have something in store for these quarterbacks. Either Bill Belichick is not comfortable with Jarrett Stidham and is deciding to keep 3 quarterbacks, or he decides to go and place Jarrett Stidham on the IR, and then you just have your 2 quarterbacks. Either way, I'd be very shocked to see Bill Belichick carry these 3 quarterbacks throughout the entire season. But the second thing that Bill Belichick could possibly be doing is that for right now, he's just bringing in a body to fill that roster spot. Keep in mind, Ben Watson is about to come back, and Cody Kessler very well could be the guy that they release in order to bring back a guy like Ben Watson. As we all know, Jarrett Stidham had a very good showcasing this offseason, had a very good showcasing in the preseason, but this past game, he did not look good at all. Okay, as we all know, the Patriots blew out the Jets 30-14, and a lot of guys were getting injured, and really towards the end, they had about 8 minutes left in the game in the fourth quarter. Bill Belichick said, all right, you know what, Tom? We're going to take you out. We don't want you getting injured. It is not worth it. And of course, that's a very big thing for Brady. Brady does not like to get out of games, but in the end, he did, in which they let the rookie quarterback play, and he completed 2 passes for 14 yards, was sacked for a 7-yard loss, and he also threw a pick 6 to Jamal Adams, the safety for the Jets, which was returned for a 64-yard touchdown. Really, he just put a lot of sauce on that throw and threw it definitely higher than he was trying to get it to the receiver, which is just a little check down the field, and Jamal Adams was right behind and picked it off. So again, I'm just really curious to see how this pans out, and it's going to be something that I watch very, very closely, because again, I just don't see the New England Patriots carrying 3 quarterbacks the entire season. And something that you also have to remember about Bill Belichick is that he will bring a lot of guys in for workouts during this season. For those of you who follow the Patriots very closely, you will know that they hold a lot of workouts each week with a multitude of different players, but really never end up actually signing someone. This is because Bill Belichick likes to be very careful, he likes to be very safe, and he wants to make sure that he has an insurance policy. Okay, of course these guys are not on the practice squad, they're not on the actual team, but working them out, being familiar with the players in case there's a time where, okay, a guy goes down at a certain position, we need to add someone. Oh, well, I remember working out this guy, he was decent, let's sign him. It very well could be the same thing here with Cody Kessler and Bill Belichick, again, just needing to fill that roster spot and wanting to know what he's going to get out of Kessler, either for now or for the potential future. But right now, from the football standpoint, the standpoint being that Cody Kessler is on the Patriots, it's a good move, okay? It's a good move quarterback-wise. He is a good veteran backup quarterback. If Tom Brady was ever to go down, which let's knock on wood that does not happen, I definitely would feel confident here with Cody Kessler having, an offensive line that is definitely better than what he's had in the past. Definitely still has its issues, but he will have better receivers also in case the time ever came. Again, I'll be curious to see how long his tenure with the Patriots actually lasts. But for the time being, he is a New England Patriot. So what do you guys thought on this move? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys would like to grab some Patriots Global merch, I'll leave a link in the description below. If you guys send me a picture or video of you rocking it, I will include you in my next YouTube video. If you guys are not subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I promise you guys will not regret it. And make sure you guys turn on my post notifications once you do subscribe so that you get notified for all the videos I post, because you will not want to miss out on anything. While you're at it, please make sure you guys like this video, as it really helps me in the production of more videos here on this channel. Make sure you guys share this video with everybody who knows we can go to the Pages Global family. And other than that, I will catch you guys in another video.